Core Series.
Yep, so the Core Series takes from the progression onto the next range. So it's more of our recreational riders, everyday riders looking to either progress or continue their riding for as many years as possible. So starting off with the boards, this is the Switch. So the Switch is, by name, the longest running board in the industry. So we started this board in about 2001. So it's quite an old board, but it remains that same concept of the free ride friendly board. Anyone that's going out back and forth, mowing the lawn type of riding, but also, jumps. It's a very moderate flex, very parallel lines for easy upwind, and a moderate rocker. So guys that are in medium to small chop or flat water, this is the ideal board for them. It does come in a lot more sizes than something like the Vox. So we do recommend for someone that's, looking to have a board to grow into rather than out of, this would be the next level up. So it comes in a wide range of sizes as well as more of a door shape. So in the 145 and a 155, that's more your light wind free ride board. So yeah, this is by far one of our best selling twin tips in the range.
And I see then with this one, I am seeing that you can use foot straps or then it progressing into boots.
Well, it does have that single file lining. It's quite unique to the Airush range. We've adopted that from various other industries like snowboarding. A really positive aspect of that is you can ride it on heel side for 1 year and then switch the whole program around, switch all your straps, and ride it on the other side the other year. So you have an even use of the rail to rail. Sometimes we see people going up the beach constantly, wearing down one side, so you can switch the whole thing around and ride it on the other side.
Wow, that's cool. I haven't heard of that before.
Yeah. So also you'll notice a lot of 3D deck features, so that helps us change the flex. So we have quite a flexy tips and tails, which a lot of our free ride, intermediate to advanced riders really enjoy that as well. So that's the Switch. This is the Apex. This is our newest board in the range. It's about 2 years old. So in the whole collection, this is one of the newer boards. This shape is a little bit different than something like the Switch. It's got a more stiffer shape overall, but it's also got a higher rocker. The higher rocker is a lot better for someone that is riding fast, landing hard. So guys that are either introducing themselves to the free ride and freestyle concept, so either they're hooked in and doing dark slides and stuff like that, or their first rally to blinds, this is the ideal board for them. Also people that are doing kite loops, coming in super fast, that rocker definitely helps smooth out their landing. What you'll also notice compared to the Switch is the quite wider tips. Wider tips are, again, taken from the more freestyle boards, allowing you to load and pop a lot better, so you're able to hold the edge a little bit longer. We've beveled out the tail and the nose and tail, so even though it's quite wide, we kind of adopt that surf fish type of feeling, so you got that wide tail, but you're still able to cut out the inside to give it a little bit more of that looser feeling.
Cool.
So again, this is someone that is, free riding, going back and forth, wants a smooth ride, but also playing around with freestyle and then maybe getting into boots. So these boards, along with all the other boards other than the box, come with the AFT. So the AFT is the next level up from the box. They come stock standard with all the products.
Oh, look at that. They lock in.
Yep.
That's amazing.
So these are a lot bigger than last year's, which a lot of people are familiar with our previous year's ones. So it fits a wider range. We also have a smaller size. So the smaller size comes with all the boards that are 135 or below 135. So for female or riders that are in smaller feet, normally go with a smaller board.
And a little massage pad there.
Yeah. So this is a dual density, so you have a nice soft top and then a little bit harder on the bottom. Overall, it's a little bit different from a traditional pad because we like that locked in feel. So we want the rider to be locked in as best as possible to maximize the performance of the kite, or of the board. So whenever you're no worries, 5, 4, 3. So maximizes the performance of the board. So you have a better connection from you as a body of when you're going from heel to toe. You're a lot more secured in your strap, so that communication between what you want to do and what the board will do is a lot quicker.
Right. Yeah, and I can see it. We've got a nice toe lock in
Exactly.
there. That's very helpful.
Yeah. And then what we have is quite different than a lot of the other brands is this kind of watch lock. So we've taken it from your watch brand or band, where you put it down and then you slide it in and then lock it in.
It's very clever.
So again, it's a one-time thing, so you set it and forget it. Some people put their Velcro down, and while you're riding, you get that spray where you get crash and it'll start to loosen up over a while. So, we get inspiration from everything as much as your watch, basically. So, yep. And so these come as a compact, nice and lightweight system.
Nice.
From there, we progress into the boots. So this is the first model in the range, called the Core Boot. And the Core Boot features 3 Velcros. So the Velcros, when you're an entry-level rider, will give you a lot easier entry and exit with one hand. So while you're flying the kite, this is your first boot that you're being introduced to. It is a softer boot than the other 2 boots in the range, but we do like to stress that it is a kite-specific boot. And so you say, Mark, what makes it a kite-specific boot?
I was just going to say that,
Yes.
Mark.
Well, Jessica, thank you for asking. What makes it a kite-specific boot is, first of all, we design it with kiters. Okay, so we have to focus on the massive amounts of use that the kiters are using it in, and the critical points where it's wearing out, especially in salt and sand conditions. So places that they do blow out their traditional wakeboard bindings is in the heels and the toes. So we've had to beef that up quite a bit. So dealing with pro riders like Alex Pastor, looking at previous years of boots that he's been using and testing, these are the places that he blows out the product. So we have had to increase the thickness of the thread and the amount of thread we're using. Also in the base plate overall, definitely have to stiffen that up. Major issue of all riders is a heel and a toe lift. So by keeping it a lot stiffer, we're trying to make sure that there's no gaps when you're riding. And then eventually, I spoke about this being the softer one, and the other ones, it's a lot stiffer. They're more ideal for people that are on heel side rail the whole time while they're riding, rather than cable riders that are a little bit flatter, or by boat riders that don't necessarily ride for, hour, 2 hours, 3 hours a day. So that's what makes it a wake or a kite specific boot. Cool.
And the kite. Keeping with your color of blue, the kite is blue, I assume.
Well, we share blue and an orange, so we got blue and we got orange.
Nice.
So do our kites. So in the Core series, progressing from what we spoke about before in the progression was the DNA. Mm-hmm. So from there, you would want to go into something called the Lithium. All right. So the Lithium features a bit faster flying in the window, overall a bit more higher performance. You can still learn on it, no problem. We have plenty of schools that use it for teaching, but it's a kite that will take you a lot further forward in your riding. So rather than growing into it, or rather than growing out of it, you're growing into it. So again, it's something that an instructor would go out and have a great time in, and he can hand it off to the very first beginner, and they'll have a great time as well learning. This year, the Lithium, we've added a lot more top end range. That was a kind of a critical factor of people saying, you guys got really good low end on your Lithium, but we want a little bit more top end just during those gusty or those times that the wind starts to build. So right now, the kite, you'll notice when you're flying it compared to last year, is it has more top end range. It's a lot smoother as well. construction-wise, it features Technoforce D2 by Tasian, so that's our double ripstop canopy. And with the DNA, comparatively, it has single ripstop canopy. Also, what you'll notice, it has a full one pump system with a mega inflate valve, and with the Lithium as well as the other ones, we feature what we call the Dyneema load frame. So, but you'll notice like a spider webbing frame going around the Lithium and the various other kites. That frame is actually supporting the canopy. What we notice is with canopies in general, it doesn't matter what brand or what type of canopy, canopies always stretch. So by implementing the load frame, we're reducing the stretch by removing the load and placing it onto the frame itself. So what we've been using in the past is called Aramid. So starting in 2013, we had the Aramid load frame. And this year we went to Dyneema because now we can, for the same weight, have a 30 to 40% less stretch. So we are reducing the stretch of the kites overall about 30%.
But that would also extend the life of your kite too.
Exactly. So what it does is by reducing the stretch, you're still getting that same good feeling that you had when you first jumped on the kite in the very first day. So we're prolonging the life overall of your kite. Okay, so after the Lithium, we have something that's brand new to our range called the Union. So the Union is more of the all-around versatile kite for the high-performance rider. So stepping off the Lithium is more of that hooked-in type of riding, always hooked in, nice and easy to jump, super reliable. Then you're going into Union, which broadens your horizon. So for me, I personally love it because I ride strapless, I ride a little bit of wake style, I like to boost, sometimes I like to kite loop. And I want to do that with only one kite. So that's why we got the Union. So it grabs a lot of those type of disciplines and puts it into one kite. So it's got a little bit of that drift stability and speed from our wave kite. It's got that nice little low end, a lot more speed than the Lithium. And it's got that really good unhooked feeling that we kind of get from the Razor. So again, if you have 3 boards on the beach, you can come in, totally change your style by the board and keep the same kite.
That's awesome. I love doing that. I like to switch from freestyle to surfing.
Yeah. So it keeps things interesting. The Lithium does that to a certain degree, but it's more on the intermediate, a little bit more mellower type of rider. The Union is that type of kite that you really want to crank it around and have some good times with it.